When someone asks us to do something, our first instinct is almost always to say yes. This applies not only in personal life and work environment, but also in situations where we are not very comfortable with doing that act. Saying no is one of the most important soft skills, and for career advancement and a healthier life, we need to learn how to say no. Join me to review parts of the book, The Art of Saying No. When I started reading the book, The Art of Saying No, it was beautifully written on page 10 that, as long as you reject a request with poise, honesty, or respect, you are not responsible for the other party's reaction. Or somewhere else in the book, on page 19, it was written that, if someone insists after you reject their request, remind yourself that this person's insistence has nothing to do with your power of choice. The characteristic of some people is to impose their words. Or on page 26 it is written that, one truth that many people don't know is that if we learn to say no purposefully and without hesitation, in the long term we will be seen as a better person in the eyes of our friends, family members and colleagues. They don't look at us like a handyman anymore, and their trust and respect for us increases. On page 31, there is a sentence that made me think deeply. Salespeople are used to hearing no. They hear hundreds of no every day, and they don't get upset or angry if you give a negative response. So it's better to ease yourself by saying no. Otherwise, you will go home and say to yourself, "What is this that I bought?" And you will suffer. On page 47, there is a beautiful quote from Mahatma Gandhi in the book, "A no with firm conviction is better than a yes that is said to make people happy or to avoid trouble." It was written on page 56 that, if you say no, some people will consider you selfish. You have no control over this issue and it really has no value. Because you are not responsible for their feelings, you are responsible for your choices and experiences. On page 77 of the book, he gave exercises for saying no. How to practice saying no. Saying no in simple situations that you might expect will not lead to conflict. For example, tell the seller who insists on buying from him the first no and gradually try more complicated situations. When we start from low-risk situations, we can strengthen our tolerance for conflict. This endurance is like a body muscle and becomes stronger with repeated use. Little by little, we become more comfortable saying no, even when we meet someone who tends to get angry when we reject their request. And finally he wrote that, taking care of yourself is not selfishness. It's a necessary thing. The problem is that if we constantly give positive answers to others and prefer them to our own priorities, we no longer have the necessary energy to pay attention to ourselves, and we gradually feel like victims. No is a powerful word and you should not be afraid to say no in the right circumstances. However, many people do not have the courage to say no. Now it's your turn. What were the situations in your life where you were hurt for not saying no? Write in a comment.